I'm with Sammy Gozen of Massaya Winery in the Bekaa Valley in Lebanon. Of course, the company that made Lebanon famous was Chateau Muzar, but you're also making wines, and you were telling me about your family history, which was fascinating. That in fact you lived in this house as a child, and then in the wars in the 80s and 90s you had to evacuate the house, and it was ransacked and left for 15 years, and you went back after the war and basically regenerated the whole property, a lot of land there, I gather. You started making arak and then planted vines and made wines. It's a fascinating story, which we can't go into in great detail here. But you're making a stunning range of wines, there's no doubt about that. We've just tasted through the range, and I'm going to ask Sammy now to talk us through them. When did you first plant vines, and when was your first vintage?
First vintage was 97.
97, so that's comparatively recent, isn't it? And that started with what? Which was your first wine?
We started with the first year we didn't have the Gold Reserve label. We had the Classic Red and the Silver label. And the vines, I might want to mention, there are older than the winery is. So
right.
We have
so they were planted. When were the vines planted?
Some of the Saint-Saul's Carignan you would get are 80 years old, 90 years old.
So when you bought the property, it already had old vines
exactly
on
it, and we leased some land from the church.
Right.
And we just take care of the.
And what was wine being made from these vines in those days?
Yeah.
Or did it go to a local co-op or something?
Sort of. Wine, yeah, it was made of these vines. Of these grapes, they made wines, but not massaya, obviously. No. And they chose to go to a big monastery near us.
Right.
To make wine.
Okay. And when was your first rosé?
First rosé was 98.
98. Okay, so yes, that's fairly early on. Because this rosé, which I'm drinking, is absolutely stunning. Selling price, and I'm talking 2010 here, we're around $10.99, I think, aren't we, for this?
Yes.
But people, we are finding, are paying more for rosé wines now. Whereas once upon a time, in this country at least, people expected rosés to be cheap and frivolous, and they'd pay about $5 for them, and they'd just be a cheap, poorly made, slightly sweetened, glugging wine. Now there are some really serious rosés being made, of which this is one, I hasten to add. So tell me about this.
I must say, the Massaya Rosé has been, we set out every year, because as you mentioned, people are more geared on rosé, and this wine in particular we like to think sustains food. It has the minerals and the fruit balance to go well on its own and go well with food, and many UK restaurants and are doing it by the glass, like the Tate Modern.
Yes, I gather it's in the Tate Modern. What I love about your wines, the whole range, is the purity, pure purity of the fruit. You know, there's very little oak used in any of these wines, and if it is, it's old oak. So many modern wines are dominated by oak flavours, which is such a shame. And this particular wine's got great minerality and depth and complexity, as if all the trace elements have been dragged up from way below ground and all put into a glass. And fantastic food wine.
Thank you.
And lovely on its own as well, I hasten to add.
We try to work as close to the vineyard. It's really craftsmanship. It's all hand baked. It's the winery itself is within the vines in the Bekaa Valley. So yes. With this actually is the exercise to make this. You know, winemaking is 80% in the vines.
Yes.
If you have good grapes, you know, you should make an effort to make bad wine.
It all starts in the vineyard.
Exactly. So this is where we have the big effort, and thanks to our French partners like the Bruniers of Vieux-Terricaf and Dominique Ebrard from Bordeaux, we're lucky to have both edges. You know, on the Grenache, the Sasso, the Syrah.
So you've got a Bordeaux partner, you've got a Rhone partner, and there's influence quite strongly here in the vines you're using.
Of course, because you know, every one of these partners has few generations of heritage, and we kind of compressed all this and mixed it in the Bekaa Valley, where the grapes are fantastic. We have no maturity issues. The wines are organic by default. We don't irrigate. We don't have. So people might enjoy the roots, and like our French partners, the roots of winemaking. Winemaking pretty much started in this part of the world and was shipped to them by the Romans.
Yeah.
So it's really a great adventure with the partners.
A long history. I mean, a lot of different grapes go into this, and here you've got Cinsault predominantly, Syrah and Cabernet. So Cinsault dominated. It's just a lovely wine. It's just so fresh and so clean. Let's move on. This is your first of your range, a wine that we currently stock. I think we'll be stocking more. This is again Cinsault dominated, Cabernet and Syrah. So actually it's the same grapes, but in slightly different proportions.
More or less, and we have hints of Carignan, we have hints of Merlots, but when you're at less than 5%,
you don't have to mention it.
You don't. Otherwise, it will.
Yeah.
So they're all blends of wine, and this range we have a white as well, but we're sold out of. The screwed up range is the easy approachable wine for massaya.
Well, it's good to see you doing it in screwed tops as well, because this is the way forward, particularly over here. I know that you get different views throughout the world, but in this country I think restaurateurs are very keen to have screw cap wine.
And this is pretty much the leading country in our views for wine and wine trend. You would be surprised by the quality of wine knowledge in the UK.
Yes.
I mean, we export to like 22 countries, and it's where I enjoy spending most of my time.
Really?
Market. Yeah, because you really, I mean, if you are here, you have to have quality, otherwise forget it.
Yes.
And the massaya, you wouldn't find it in supermarkets, obviously. It's a boutique winery, you would just find it through...
Very pleased to hear that.
through wine merchants like the Oxford Wine Company and quality traders, I mean, all over the UK. And this is a huge challenge, because, you're challenged every day here. And
of course, I mean, we're tasting wines daily. And it's rarely I've come across a set of wines which I've enjoyed so much as this actually. So again, lovely wine, again, very, very pure fruit. The Carignan, not Carignan, the Cinsault sort of freshness is really emerging strong here, isn't it?
With spice.
So spice. Again, it's got a lot of Rhone feel in it to me. Although I know you think this is a very Rhone blend.
Simon.
Well, I think this has got a strong Rhone feel to it. And this is a wine that we actually opened here at Christmas in a blind tasting for our staff, and it wowed everybody. We actually couldn't guess what it was. We all put it down as a very expensive Rhone wine of some sort, or a Rhone blend. Nobody actually got to think of a Lebanese. We were all racking our brains, thinking, what could it be? But we hadn't tasted this for a while, and I think that's what threw us. But I think the result of today's tasting will certainly increase sales. There's no doubt about that.
I like to think of the classic red as the door opener to the Bekaa Valley and the Lebanon wine. It's very much the appeal, the easy, approachable wine of the most expressive wine of this part of the world.
It's very easy drinking, but it's got real character and flavour and purity. And I keep using this word pure, but I have to emphasise that. We taste a lot of bodies. Let's go on to this one.
Silver.
This is, I mean, again, at the time of speaking, this is a sort of a £15 wine, as opposed to a £10 wine, and the next one is a sort of £22, £23 wine. So this is your next stage up, but again, it's a different blend. It's Grenache,
predominantly
Grenache, bit of Cinsault again, obviously strong there. Cabernet Sauvignon and Mourvedre, and of course another Rhone blender.
Yeah, the Cinsault we have is you would be surprised of how well the Cinsault does in the Bekaa. And Lebanon, with its close ties to France, after Phylloxera re-imported French varietals, because we were very, very bad at keeping the books on American stock. Right. So the Cinsault you would have, and the Grenache, and the Mourvedre and Cabernet, etc., are not just thanks to our partnership with French partners. It's because of Lebanon's roots with France that date back to the kings of France and the church and the armies. You shouldn't forget Lebanon was for 400 or 500 years under Ottoman ruling. And really wine flourished again after the First World War with mainly French varietals.
Yes. But what you've got here, though, is, I mean, your partners are two of the great French, owners to the great French sort of chateaux anyway, which helps. But also you've got innovative winemaking. Your brother's a winemaker.
Yes.
But somebody here is really thinking about what they're doing. Whereas I'm always a little bit cynical about some of the French winemaking, which at certain levels is not really very good. But here you've taken the best of French expertise, put together with some modern thinking, modern winemaking, great labelling, and it's producing a stunning wine.
Thank you. We like to think there is a soul behind all this.
I think there probably is. I wish they could hear more about your family story, but we probably haven't got time for that now. No, this is more Cabernet based,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah.
That's the fuller bodied wine of the range, 50% cab.
Cabernet, and then Mourvedre and Syrah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And casks, barriques, fermenting.
Old barriques, yes.
And old barriques and some new. I mean, we renew our fleet every year, but
Yes.
not 100%, of course.
Because there's a hint of oak here, but it's not new oak.
No.
Well, not the smell anyway. I mean,
No. We work very hard to to keep our oaks and to we don't like muscular over oaked wines, obviously.
Yeah.
But this is certainly a wine that can be laid down and a wine that can age and you can decant and keep for a few years. So.
Yes, it's an interesting wine. The style has changed quite considerably from these two. These are very fruit driven. This is a bit more restrained at the moment, I think. Probably more of a food wine, and it probably does need time. I mean, you would know this, I haven't experienced that. But these two, I could open the bottle and drink these very easily.
Right.
This one I sort of feel maybe needs more time, or maybe needs big beef or something.
You just put it spot on. Big beef, a nice cigar with a big glass, that sort of approach.
Nice attractive woman. Yeah.
Jerry's.
Perfect wine.
It has the wine attitude, whereas this is, I think, more of festive food, approachable wine.
Yeah.
And this is certainly in
and great wines, you were saying, with the barbecue as well.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
The classic red, you cannot go wrong with the silver, with lamb, with barbecues,
Yeah.
with, Mediterranean cuisine, with tagines, that sort of food. And this, I like to think, is more, as you said, of a red meat, of a gamey type of wine.
Yes, I can well see the game.
Yeah. Pheasant and meats that are strong meats.
And
Arak.
Yes. No, I didn't try the Arak. My colleagues have already tried the Arak in sort of feed tasting, or some of them have. Oh no, they haven't. You're just opening it. I thought they had tried it. Sorry, I was pulled away.
They have, but not here.
But they're right.
Not now. But the blue bottle of Arak, the Massaya bottle, has been really now recognized as the level of quality. I would suggest this is 50%, 53% proof.
Yes, right.
So I suggest you try it without water or anything, just to see the purity of the produce.
So this is the aniseed.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about Arak.
Oh, so that's.
So we have a sort of a Pernod lookalike, do we?
You have. I don't like to.
No, I'm sorry. That's probably rude. It's in its own right, it is.
It's a very pure, authentic way of producing spirits. It's the stills we use are really historical. They're very old. They're the ancestors of the Alambic Charentais, with which cognac is made.
Of course.
And we distilled 3 times the white wine made of the native varietal called Obeidi. The second distillation, this is where you would go for cognac. Still, we have a third one where we let the anise, organic anise seeds, macerate for 18 hours over firewood in the stills. So you have a beautiful extraction, and the perfume. There are no additives here, no colorings, no sugars, no flavorings.
And how is it normally drunk? Like
you
this
just,
or with water?
No, like with the water it will turn white.
Of course.
And you can put in a couple of ice cubes.
So just a dash
of water. I mean,
bit more?
that's it. Yeah, a bit more, and then ice, and this is how you go with that.
Ice.
This is aged 2
And
years.
is this a digestive, really? End of a meal, beginning of a meal?
In Lebanon, you would have it all through the meal, all
Would you?
through the meze, because every
So what about
sip
your
you
wine?
have
What about your
cleanses-
wine? You're going to drink your wine as well, right?
You can start with the rosé and then have
Okay.
this, and you know, depends the mood you're in.
I'm
You
looking forward to having dinner with you. Sounds good fun.
anytime.
I'm about to go and have lunch with you, but I think probably lunch won't be quite as heavy.
You know, every sip cleanses the palate between the different mezes, the little tapas we have
Yes.
in Lebanese food, and the anise is beautiful for digestion.
Yes.
So you have it's a very nice drink to have along Provençal, Mediterranean type of foods. Believe it or not, at my partners at Telegraph, at Daniel's house, when we have a Sunday barbecue, we both enjoy this
Yes.
to have with you know ripe tomatoes and cucumbers and carrots and lemon and olive oil and that sort of food.
Yes.
So it depends on the mood you're in.
Yes.
I don't see competing, it's just complementary.
Oh, of course not. Absolutely. Well, thank you. And that's absolutely fascinating, Sally, to hear you speak like this. I really do emphasise how good I think the wines are. And I can certainly see an addition or two to our list.
Yeah.
And you know, we'd like to try and start promoting these wines a little bit more. We've been a little lazy in the past, but an opportunity like this opens our minds to what's there and just alerts us to the fact that, you know, we have this wonderful wine which we've been underselling. And we're hoping to open a shop in Oxford soon as well, which means that we're going to get a lot more exposure, I think.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So thank you very much.
Thank you for
your
time.
very good health.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yours. Thank you.